Hi, I'm Mike with Ringbrothers. We're going to take this fender, strip it down, show you how I get it ready for paint. So the first thing we're going to do is check out for damage. I can tell that there's previous damage in this area. When you look at the back side, you can see some dents in it, so I know that there's filler in here. A lot of guys will scratch it. It's a good idea to scratch your dents so you don't forget. People with a lot of experience can feel it with their hands, but for somebody just starting out, I'd recommend just marking your dents or your dings while there's still paint on it, because you can look down it and see where the problem areas are. So after you get it marked, first thing I'm going to do is just strip it to bare metal. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just get all the old paint off it and let's see what we have underneath. So after I knocked off most of the paint, at least got into it a little bit and saw the filler, now I'm going to DA it out with 80 grit. This 3M Cubitron, it's honestly amazing stuff. You can use one piece, it goes forever. Believe it or not, all that was done on the same piece here. And there's still grit left, but since I'm going to be getting into the Bondo, I mean, I could finish the whole thing here with one piece of sandpaper, but I wanted to be honest and show you that I'm going to change it to get this area that's heavy Bondo. But it just goes to show how amazing this Cubitron really is. So when I'm stripping this, there's some hard to get areas like these creases here, and there's some other creases on the inside that sandpaper really is going to be hard to get to with a DA, and some little rust here on the bottom. I use this Roll-Ox wheel by 3M, and I'll zip these tough to get areas with this Roll-Ox wheel. When the safety squint's probably not a good idea. You really want to use safety glasses with this. So after I stripped all this, now I can go back to finish DA and the rest of this out. And we should be ready to knock out some of the dents. Now that it's stripped, we can see all the problem areas where it was fixed a few times before. So what we need to do now is work out the metal to accept the Bondo. They probably did this on the car and maybe couldn't get behind it. It looks like they used a unispotter to try to pull some of these dents out. So I'll get my hammer and dolly and we'll try to take a few more of the dents out. What you're seeing on this fender, you'll see the two different colors if you look close. It's the lighter silver is the galvanized, because this newer metal, this is a 96 Impala, and it's got galvanized on it. So that's what you're seeing there is where I sanded through the galvanized. And around dings, it'll give you the eyebrow of the dent, and that's what I'm sanding through. So where you see these parts, it's usually the high spot of the dent. Okay, once I worked out my dents, before I grind it, I like to use some metal prep on it to clean it off. You should always use like wax and grease before you start to wipe off the panel, so you don't sand any of the waxes, if there may be some on here, into the paint and into the metal. That's pretty good. Now I'll just finish grinding it. Okay, now that we got it stripped and ground, we're gonna take it in the booth and put some epoxy on it, and then just Bondo over the epoxy. It kind of gives you a little of that corrosion protection. So we're gonna put it in the booth.